What is up? What is up? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It is Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach. Y'all already know why we're here. Here for another Sunday of, you've guessed it, Success Starter Series. Y'all know we go live each and every Sunday where we talk about different tools, tips, and tools to help you set your week up for success. Because in setting your week up for success, you're doing the work to set your life up for success. And as your productivity and accountability coach, y'all know I'm all about empowering y'all to find that hidden time in your day, time that you can use to pour back into yourself to pursue your goals, your purpose, and your life passions, while still maintaining your current responsibilities without the stress, without the overwhelm, and all the things. Because understanding and mastering time management is going to be the best thing you ever do in your life. So we here for the last Sunday in the month of January. Can't. It feel like this month has gone by fast, but so much has happened. It feel like it should be a whole nother month by now. Yeah. Well, it's the last month. No, not the last month. It's the last week in this month. And so what are you doing to wrap up this month, finish this month out strong? Y'all know January was all about creating and establishing like a solid foundation that you're going to utilize as you go throughout this year, because we got to start strong with a strong foundation, because everything we're doing and building on from here on out, we want to make sure it's solid and make sure it's strong. So as we go into this last week of this month, y'all know it's also time to start thinking about and preparing for the month ahead. So I want to talk to you guys about staying motivated even when that new year, new me, new year, new habits, new year's energy starts to wear off. Because let's be real, if it hasn't happened, it probably will happen. And I don't want y'all to fall victim to that, because National Quit Your Resolutions Day was like 10, 15 days ago or something like that. So people already done stopped on the things they said they was going to start. And that's why I was telling y'all back in December, we needed to start now with planning for the new year so we can go ahead and start getting that momentum and stuff going. But I digress. We here now and we going to do what we got to do with it. So, yesterday I hosted the G2G Masterclass, which is all about getting to your goals, to help you to go from not just setting goals, but also planning for how it is you're going to hit your goals. And so that's the kind of mindset we need to have as we continue to go forward. We have to stop just saying we're going to do things. We have to start making sure we're creating plans that's going to help us to actually do that. And so today I want to kind of talk about how to adjust your goals, celebrate your wins, and prioritizing yourself are going to be essential for keeping this momentum going. And so when we look at it and when we start thinking about it, look, let's dive into the Lee method and let's go through this and talk through it in that vein, in that sport. So when we talk about adjusting your goals, y'all know the Lee method: look, examine, and execute. We using it for everything. So let's talk about adjusting and adapting your goals. You need to look at the goals that you set for this year and for this month. Where are you on them? The goals you set for January, that you still got 5 days, 5, 6 days, depending on how you want to count it, to hit those goals. Don't give up. I still got a goal that I'm still working on finalizing for this month. And I'm going to get it done. Because that's one of my priority tasks on my to-do list for this week. And then when I look at my life goals, we on track with all of those. I think I've hit all of those. My work goals, I have one as well that I'm working on, which I'm going to the jail this week, so that should wrap up that one. But when we think about adjusting and adapting, we have to first look to see what was it that we said. What did we set out to do this month? Where are we in that process, and are we making progress in that process? So we have to look at and reflect on those goals that you set. And then if you take the time to look at the goals that you set and look at where you are in those goals, you'll also be able to look to figure out what's happening with them. Like the ones that you haven't hit, why not? Did you forget about them? Is something keeping you stuck in it? Have you made progress on it, but you might not potentially fully hit the goal before this week is up? Like, what's working and or what's not working when it comes to the goals that you set? Because if you take the time to look at the goals that you set and understand where it is that you are, as you're planning for and preparing for the month ahead, you'll be able to make those adjustments and to adapt to make sure that you're continuing that momentum, so that you're not giving up and quitting and feeling like it's not possible, it's not for you, whatever the case may be. You can and you should feel that you can make changes and you can adjust and adapt your goals without feeling guilty about it. Because the whole point in taking time to look at your goals to see where you are, where you're going, what's working, what's not, is so that you still ultimately hit the goal. And so when we think about the goals that we set and we think about where it is that we are when it comes to these goals, What are you going to do to make sure that you keep that momentum? Because sometimes when we set goals and we feel like we didn't hit the goal, we're not going to hit the goal, we give up on the goal and we just decide that, no more. But that's not what we want it to be. We want to be able to adjust and adapt and continue to adjust and adapt and tweak the goals to make sure that we're making progress. And so specifically when you're looking at your yearly goals, if you reverse engineer those, which you should have, to help you understand what it is you need to be doing each month to make progress on them, you might see that I might be a little bit behind on it, but that doesn't mean you can't still catch up. You just have to figure out what adjustments you need to make that a reality. And then if you've set a yearly goal and you're ahead of the goal, that doesn't mean pump the brakes. That means keep that momentum going so that if something happens down the line, you're still on track. For example, my running goal. I set a running goal this year, again, 300 miles, same as last year. But last year, I broke it down by quarters and I wasn't really looking at it month by month to see where I was. This year, I'm not making that mistake. Not only am I setting the yearly goal, reverse engineering that to the quarterly goal to make sure that I'm on track each quarter, but I understand what that looks like monthly. And so what I did this year was when January started, because, 300 miles for the year is 75 miles for the quarter, which is 25 miles for the month. And so what I'm doing to make sure that I'm going to hit that 25 miles for the month is understanding what does each run look like. And so January, we had a few extra running days in there because January 1st we were off. MLK Day, I was off. So pretty much any day that I'm off or working from home, I run in addition to the weekends. And so when I looked at that, when I came into January, I looked at the calendar and I was like, okay, how many days do I know that I can run this month? So I counted, every Saturday, every Sunday, January 1st, and MLK Day. I thought I was going to have some work from home days, which I ultimately did. And I was like, okay, that looks like, I think it came out to like 14 days or something like that. No, I think it was less than that. It came out to, let me see, I'm looking at the calendar real quick. 4, 8, 9, 10 days. It was like 10 days that I knew for sure that I would be running. So if I have to hit 25 miles in 10 days, that's like 2.5 miles each time. And so every time I went out for a run, I made sure that I was hitting that 2.5. Then when I had some work from home days and I got ahead, I still I was like, because especially like last week, I was like, I don't really feel like running. It was super cold and I'm going out, but I'm going to just do like a mile and a half. And so right now, I possibly am working from home this Friday, but even if I don't, I've already hit the 25. I'm almost at 30. And so if I work from home Friday, I should hit 30. But I'm not going to pump the brakes when it comes to February and March. I'm not going to say that, because I hit 30 miles this month, I only have to do 22 the next couple months, because I live in Florida. There's going to be times it's going to rain. I got some vacation and some travel that I'm planning on doing. When hurricane season comes, I don't want to be in the predicament that I was last year where towards in Q3 going into Q4, I had to up it to like 30 miles a month. And so then I really had to get out there and get going. And so when you look at your goals and when you see your goals, if you have a goal that you're ahead of, keep that same momentum. Because as life, or if you feel like one time when you're like, okay, I'm ahead, but you look at it then you're like, I really don't feel like doing whatever it is towards the goal this day. I know that I have a little bit of wiggle room, so it's okay. Same thing if you're behind. Don't feel like it's not possible to catch up. I understand that you might have to adjust, which means potentially, if it was my running goal, adding a mile here or there to make sure that you hit the goal, but don't feel like you can't do it. We only 26 days into a 365-day year. You still got 319 days to go. Don't feel that just because you're not on track or you haven't hit the goal that it's impossible 11 months from now. Why would you do that? It don't even make sense. Exactly. And so that's why it's important to spend time in reflection, spend time looking at the goals that you set, looking at the progress that you make, looking at where it is that you are or are not in regards to those goals, so that as you're planning for the month ahead, you can adjust and adapt and make those slight tweaks to get yourself back on track when it comes to those goals. And you can make sure that these goals are still in alignment. By consistently checking in on your goals, at least every month, really more than that, because you got to make sure you're making the progress on the goals. But by checking in with your goals each month, it helps you to make sure that this is still in alignment with what it is that I'm doing. Because sometimes we get out of alignment. We have this goal. It's still important to us, but we catch ourselves drifting and going somewhere else because shiny object syndrome, somebody else was doing something else. The world started whirling and you just was like, I forgot where I was supposed to be focusing on. And so get yourself back to the goal that you set. Get yourself back focused to what it is that you set out to do. it's time to stay motivated. You have to work on continuing to do and consistently doing the work. So how can you keep those new habits going strong? By consistently looking at them and making any adjustments and adaptations that are necessary to keep you in line with them. And so then next we want to talk about, after you've looked, let's examine. Let's examine what progress you've made. What wins have you made? So like, I'm celebrating the fact that I hit my running goal, and I'm celebrating the fact that I'm on track / ahead of the goal. And in celebrating those wins, it's important to recognize your progress and seeing the process that you've gone through to make that progress. And so that you can utilize that to also help you stay motivated. Because of the fact that I see that okay, your girl is ahead on this running goal, I'm motivated to continually get out there in my Eskimo jacket and all in the cold 37-degree weather out there running. Now, I only did a mile and a piece, but I still was out there. And so you have to take time to examine, what did I do? Like, what wins have I made? Where can I pat myself on the back? Where can I celebrate myself for the work that I've done? And even if you don't 100% hit the goal, I still want you to celebrate the progress that you've made, especially if this is something that's new that you're taking on that you haven't done before. So for me, not that I went and celebrate the progress that I've made in the goals, but running is something that I've been doing. It's a goal that I set last year that I saw that I kind of struggled with, so I recommitted to that same number for this year. But if there are things that you're taking on that is new, I especially want you to celebrate the progress that you made, even if you don't fully hit the goal, because you have to give yourself that grace to understand that this is something new that I'm doing. And because it's new, I'm probably not going to do it 100% until I really catch the groove of it and really get that momentum of doing it. And I know we're talking about maintaining momentum. The way that you're going to keep that momentum and stay motivated is continually looking in and celebrating yourself and the progress that you've made so far. And when you find a process that works, is continually to help you to make progress, keep going. Embrace it. Lean into it. Keep doing that thing. You have to celebrate yourself. You got to clap for yourself, because everybody ain't going to always clap for you. People might clap for you, but sometimes they might not. But if you don't celebrate yourself, you're going to continue to look for validation in other people. And if you don't get it, you're not going to feel good about that. So celebrate yourself. Give yourself that validation that you need, so that you always know that if nothing else, I got me. You should always have your own back, even if nobody else do. Excuse me. And so when we talk about staying motivated and keeping that momentum going as well, you have to make sure, because like I said, you got to make sure you clap for yourself and you keep yourself on track, that you realize that you are important. Y'all heard that right? Oh, okay. You are important. And so it's important to make sure that in the midst of you working on your goals, pursuing your goals, you are keeping yourself at the forefront, and that you're making sure that you prioritize your self-care, that you're not running yourself ragged trying to get to these goals. Because I'm not anti-hard work, but your girl is anti-hustle and grind. And being like, you have to work to hit your goals. But the more work you do, let me take that back. Hold on, let me see how I want to say it. You have to work to hit your goals. But the more work that you do, you have to make sure you're pacing yourself. And so that's why I'm saying that the more you consistently look at and check in on those goals, that's when you're able to make those slight adjustments, as opposed to the longer you wait to look at the goal, you got to make these big adjustments. Again, let me use my running goal. If I would have been checking in more often on that goal, I would have realized the error of my ways and made adjustments earlier in the process. Because it got to the middle of the year and I was like, okay, I should be at 150. And I was at like 115, 120. No, what could have been 120, because that one ain't too bad. It was something. But whatever it was, it ended up being to where I had to go from 25, what should have been 25 miles a month, to like 30. And because I wasn't consistent, I was tracking it, but I wasn't tracking it in the sense of, like, I see the number, but am I on track with the number that I should be? No? Oh, what I'm going to do to fix that? Oh, okay. And last year, I didn't get a lot of my work from home days because of being in trial hearings, things like that, which is fine. But in some ways, I was kind of banking on those days. And when they didn't happen, I was like, ooh, wait a minute. And so that's why I'm fixing that. I'm looking at the calendar and saying, how many guaranteed running days do I have? Guaranteed. Like, is there a holiday? Am I off work someday? Guaranteed running day. Yes, we have a likely work from home day this week or that, but we looking at guarantees. Like, if we playing spades, it's like 2 and a possible, but we don't want that possible to be weighing too heavily over here. And so that's where, when I'm talking about prioritizing yourself and prioritizing self-care, how does that play into maintaining that energy and avoiding burnout? Because we're not anti-hard work, we're anti-hustle and grind. The more time that you spend looking in on your goals, looking in on the progress, and adjusting and making those slight tweaks, you can avoid burnout. You can avoid that hustle and grind of trying to grind down to the last minute of trying to hit your goals. And so while I'm saying it's not too late to hit your goals for this month, I personally don't want you to hustle and grind to get there. I want you to work and work hard to get there. And hopefully in working hard to get there, you hit the goal. But as long as you're making progress towards the goal, you good. You on track. You making progress. And if those goals are reverse engineered from the year, the more progress you make in general, it's going to help you on that back end when it comes to where else it is you have to go throughout this year. And so it's important to make sure that you are setting time aside from yourself, making sure that you're putting you at the forefront of your goals, because if you say you have these goals, if you say you want to hit these goals, if you say you're going to do the work to hit these goals, but yet and still you aren't actually showing up and prioritizing yourself to help you to hit the goals, do you think you're going to hit the goals? I think not. And so that's why it's important to make sure that in setting your goals, in checking in on your goals, in making the progress to hit your goals, you have to do what you need to do to stay motivated. And making sure that you're checking in with yourself and checking in on yourself, and you're giving yourself that rest, that rejuvenation you need, that's going to help you. And y'all know my favorite thing to tell y'all to do. Do a brain dump, make your to-do list, and make sure you check in your calendar. That's part of adjusting and adapting. That's part of being able to celebrate your wins. That's part of being able to prioritize self-care. And you're probably like, how? How is a brain dump? How is a to-do list? And how is a calendar helping me to do those things? Because by doing your brain dump, making your to-do list, and adjusting your calendar, you're able to adapt and adjust. You're able to see, what capacity do I have this week to make progress on these goals? What adjustments do I need to make if this is a busier week, to scale back on how it is that I'm trying to focus there? Because ultimately, that's going to come into that self-care of avoiding burnout and overwhelm and stressing yourself out by doing the most and not being able to maintain that momentum and maintain that energy. And so by doing the brain dump and making your to-do list, when you check back on your progress from the week before and adjusting and adapting, you're also able to celebrate the progress that you've made from one week to the next. And in doing that, again, that calendar balance is going to help you to prioritize your self-care, because you're not going to overwhelm your to-do list and overwhelm your schedule when you don't have the capacity in these next 7 days to do so. Because the capacity that you might have had like MLK week because you had an extra day off work, or coming into the new year because you had took some vacation time, might not be the capacity that you have this week because you winding down the week. And if you got work deadlines that's coming up, as well as these personal deadlines you're trying to impose on yourself, you got to make sure that you're giving yourself time to prioritize you and take care of self and all of that. So what are you going to do, and how are you personally going to stay motivated? How are you going to make sure that as you end out January, as you start preparing for February, that you still keep those habits going? That you adjust and adapt, that you celebrate your wins, and that you prioritize yourself in the midst of it. Spend this week preparing for next month. And while you're preparing, you're still working and tying up these loose ends of the month of January, and you're utilizing that information to help you prepare for the month ahead. Because if you have some loose ends that you're tying up that don't get fully tied, they're going to roll into February. So you need to make sure that as you're planning for February, anything else that you were already thinking of doing, you're also adjusting and adapting that with the I guess added roles or added responsibilities of anything that's rolling over for this month into the next month. It's possible. It's possible for you to continue to hit your goals, to set goals, to make progress, and to get there. It's possible for you to get to your goals. It's possible for you to not only set these plans in motion, but make a plan for how you're going to do it. But you have to do that work to do so. If you're looking for support, if you're looking for accountability, if you're looking for the resources and the help to help you do so, I'm Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, and your girl can help you do that. Because in working together with one-on-one coaching, you have my support. You have my undivided attention. You have me for that accountability to check in with you and check on you as you walk through and journey through this process, for me to be there and help guide you on this process. If you're looking for that type of support, if you're looking for that type of help, comment motivated below, and we can have a conversation about how I can help you to stay motivated, how I can help you to keep those new habits going strong. But most importantly, and how I can help you, I'm equipping you with the information that you need to be able to use the Lee method, not only now, but in the future for other things that you're working on. Because it's important that you go through life and understand that sometimes you're not going to be motivated, But that discipline and that consistency and all those things are going to come into play. And so that's why my phrase for the year is I'm committed to being consistent and I'm determined to stay disciplined. And so I want you to stay motivated. I want you to be able to keep those new habits going strong as we wind down this month and go into the next month. I want you to understand that when it comes to adjusting your goals, celebrating your wins, and prioritizing yourself, all of that's important in order for you to ultimately get to where it is that you're looking to go. You need to set your goals for the month of February. You need to wind down and check in on these goals for January. You need to check in on those yearly goals to make sure that as you're planning out February goals, everything is all in sync and in alignment. So if you're looking for support and accountability in doing that, you can comment the word motivated below and I'll reach out, or you can head to the link in bio. But until next time, it's been Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here for another Sunday of Success Starter series. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, to continue this conversation as we go into February and continue to build momentum, make progress, and get ready for what's next. So until next time, Coach Lee